After Batman revived from the dead, he decided to build a corporation for Batman, a series of individuals who are going to fight with the message of Batman in the world. But what about the evil organizations that discover that there is now a Batman organization? This is the Comicstorian channel where I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panel selected images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Today we're going to be continuing our coverage of Batman Incorporated. When Batman was killed by Darkseid, he came back and made Batman Incorporated. He's been traveling the world recruiting people into the Batman Incorporated organization, where he funds their vigilante efforts with the Wayne Foundation. Today we're going to find out what's been going on with Stephanie Brown, and we're going to discover the evil organization battling against Batman. And what are they doing? Rain pours down, drenching the vast lawns of the boarding school, and inside voices can be heard shouting in a chorus. "We have no fear of death, for we are dead! We are dead! We are dead! All hail Leviathan!" The girls in skull masks and costumes shout as Stephanie glances at her friend, the thick ropes that are meant to hang them tightening around their necks. A month ago, a limo pulls up around the front of the school, and some of the students watch from the windows as the blonde-haired girl gets out. "I'd like you all to welcome Miss Brown to the school. She'll be joining us for the new term. So I hope you give her the traditional St. Harridan's welcome," Miss Hexley tells everyone. And a short time later, Stephanie Brown is standing in front of the class as the headmistress comments on her posture, admonishing her. Embarrassed, Stephanie takes her seat as the other girls watch, and Miss Hexley leaves the classroom with the teacher getting back to her lesson. As I was saying, this is the Mark II fragmentation grenade, also known as a pineapple. "Who'd like to know how to make one of these using materials you can find in any kitchen?" the teacher says with a smile. Time passes and Steph is confronted by a group of girls in the locker room, asking her if she likes to keep fit. "I do like to keep fit," Steph nods to them, and suddenly she stops as one pulls a pistol out, aiming it at her head as another goes through her purse. "Is that right? We heard about you. We heard that your old man was Batman. If so, what does that make you?" the girls ask as they all pull their pistols on Steph. But Steph moves fast, grabbing the girl's arm, twisting it as she pulls the pistol free. "Drop the gun or lose the hand, and the rest of you, kiss my kung fu. As for who my dad is, just be glad you'll never know." Steph snaps as she shoves the girl to the ground. She prepares to fight, but suddenly another teacher is grabbing her by the collar, flipping her to the floor. "You've got a lot to learn about the pecking order, Miss Brown," the teacher comments. A short time later, she sits outside of the headmistress's office, making friends with Jolisa Windsor as she waits on her scalding. Inside, the real headmistress sits in the shadows, as the head teacher explains that Stephanie just checked out. Her father was the late Arthur Brown, the super criminal known as the Clue Master. But the headmistress waves her off as she continues to read Stephanie's bio. The next day, the teacher ends the class on pistol marksmanship, informing the girls that they always need to aim where it hurts. As they walk by Stephanie's station, she comments on her targets. "Excellent shooting, Miss Brown. Miss Hexley tells me that you could be elite material. Don't be surprised if you get invited to a party at the tower sometime soon," she says with a smile, and as she turns to leave, the teacher comments as Stephanie should watch out who she makes friends with. Time continues to pass as Stephanie continues with her studies, and the teachers all watch as Stephanie continues to hold off a group of girls during a hand-to-hand fighting class. "I say we give her the makeover, Miss Hadron style," Miss Hexley comments as they continue to discuss her potential. The girls all gang up on Stephanie as she throws her punches and kicks and elbows to hold them off. And later, Miss Hexley offers invitations to both Stephanie and Jolisa Windsor. "You both have shown exceptional qualities. In my experience, it's so often the rebels who turn out to be the most loyal soldiers. I'll see you in the tower," she says with a smile, and the two girls are smiling, high-fiving each other after the teachers left. But now we are back at the present, and the skull-faced students continue their chorus as Stephanie and Jolisa look up at the true headmaster. "Tonight you shed your skins. Tonight you surrender yourselves to us. To me, your master of ceremonies, Johnny Valentine, spawn of the foul fiend, child of the boar and his sow, son of the pig," the man wearing the Professor Pig mask says with a smile as he steps out of the shadows, motioning to the girls to step forward as he holds up a heavy needle. "I'll teach you what my daddy taught me." He snorts, and he pushes the needle through his hand, watching as the blood oozes down. He reaches down, picking up 2 wafers and offering them to the girls. "You'll become my suicide commandos, death girls of Leviathan. This wafer will get you in tune with Leviathan's song. In tune, you will no longer value life. Not even your own, Pig says to them, as he reaches forward offering the wafer to the girls, and they both eat it with the Skullgirls grabbing them. Pig smiles as he picks up a can of hairspray acid, asking which of the girls betrayed them. Which one of you betrayed us, sending secret messages to someone else in the school? He asks, holding up the spray, preparing to fire it into Joe Lisa's face. But Stephanie suddenly shouts for them to stop as she tightens her neck against the rope, using it to swing up and kick Pig in the face. She twists, headbutting one of the Skullgirls and slips free of her rope, and she reaches out, helping Joe Lisa escape with her own noose. They're turning you all into suicide dolls. Why would you kill and die for a cult? Stephanie asks as the Skullgirls begin to close in around them. Because it makes us cooler than everyone else, another responds to her. So Stephanie turns, grabbing the beauty product weapons off of Pig's table. She fires a group of darts from a comb at the incoming enemies, and then grabs a perfume bottle, exploding it and filling the room with tear gas. Catch them! Cut off their faces! Pig shouts as the two girls escape, and using a grappling hook, Stephanie shoots up through the gas and into the clear. As the two escape from the upper window of the tower, Stephanie pulls up her Batgirl costume that she had stashed on the roof. I knew you were Batman's daughter! I said that there'd be a Bat daughter! Joe Lisa shouts, but Stephanie just shoots a grappling hook, gliding them both down to the school grounds. At the front gate, Batgirl locks up a chain around the gate, and she turns, explaining to Joe Lisa that Batman sent her to spoil St. Hadrian's whole operation. That's what I do, and nobody leaves until I'm done. Batgirl says, and then she turns, seeing Pig and his Skullgirls rushing out of the tower, heading towards them. But as the group begins to chase them across the grounds, Batman himself descends out of the trees. He slams Pig against the ground, ripping off the villain's mask. Class dismissed! Batman growls as he looks up at the schoolgirls. Batgirl is suddenly there, kicking and punching her way through the Skullgirls, knocking away their weapons as she defeats them quickly. And Batman nods as she continues to fight. Outstanding work, Batgirl. When you're done here, meet me at the headmistress's office. Batman glides away, with Batgirl turning back to the girls that she just shared the classroom with for a month. You're all spoiled brats with some martial arts. I'll happily smack that skull off your face. She snaps at one of the girls. We're not your problem. Your little friend is, the girl says, pointing over Batgirl's shoulder. Suddenly, Steph realizes that Joe Lisa ate the wafer that Pig offered her. She turns, finding her friend, aiming a pistol at her. You hijacked my ceremony, and all I had to do was kill you to prove myself. But Steph just smiles. Meanwhile, in the headmistress's office, Miss Hexley continues to pack her things. She looks up, not startled, to find Batman standing before her. He holds up a flash drive, explaining that this was everything that he needed to take the school down. But Hexley smiles, lifting a crossbow. But you don't have her, do you? The headmistress, and you never did. She looks at him, asking if he knows how many men she's killed with her crossbow. Do you know how many people have told me that line? He asks her simply. And suddenly the window explodes inward as Batgirl flies through it. She slams into Hexley, setting off the crossbow, but Batman catches the arrow easily, smiling at Steph, looming over the woman now. Always keep an eye on your rear, Miss Hexley. Batman growls. And now we travel to another Batman Incorporated story in the Leviathan Strikes arc. Over the loudspeaker, Daedalus is laughing. All your plans, your schemes, your tactics, all for nothing. Rats in a trap waiting to die, he taunts the heroes. The group of heroes look around them, black smoke billowing into a room as Daedalus informs them that they have 5 doors. Only one leading to freedom, and the others to death. A Batman Incorporated agent will be killed every 5 minutes. The countdown is underway. Daedalus informs them as the 20-minute timer appears overhead, and Batman reaches out his hand. The white door, he tells Batman, Red Robin, and Robin. Batman, no! Remember what happened last time? Robin shouts. Last time? Batman questions, but suddenly he's standing in a domed room. Come to my parlor, Batman. How long has it been since we last faced each other? Daedalus turns, the old man smiling in his spider robot throne, and he tells Batman that it was possibly moments ago that he's already told him all of this. Some of the words come from the old man, others seem to be coming from the speakers, as Daedalus explains that the gas that Batman has been breathing in acts as a powerful, mind-eroding agent. He pulls out his rebreather as spiral agents attack him, and as they begin their battle, Daedalus continues to monologue about his labyrinth, about how it was designed to break even the strongest of wills. What happens to the mind when there's no way out? Daedalus questions as Batman throws a spiral agent away. Why? Batman shouts at Daedalus, but he suddenly stops. I asked you that already, didn't I? He questions, and Daedalus laughs, explaining that Batman keeps asking that question. He comments that Batman's rebreather has run out of oxygen some time ago, and that the gas is mimicking the effects of Alzheimer's. Meanwhile, over in Africa, Batwing heads out onto the rooftop of his palace. He gets on the radio trying to tell Oracle that everything Batman thinks he knows about Jezebel Jet, the woman that formerly ran his African country, who Batman believes is running Leviathan, is wrong. Oracle, tell Batman, I know who is really in charge of Leviathan, Batwing shouts, with the clock reaching 15 minutes. Batwing takes to the sky, looking behind him in shock as the giant bat wings flap behind him. Meanwhile, back in the chamber with the gas, Batman removes his rebreather, telling Daedalus that his people are smarter than Leviathan. We tracked Leviathan's influence back to Matamba, Africa. Ah, the Jezebel Jet. Yes, you said. Did I tell you that your African agent was the first to die? Daedalus asks with a wave of his hand. The screen suddenly appears, showing Batman the other times that he has walked into this chamber, and the different times on the countdown. Savor the last memory, Batman, it will never return, Daedalus says over the speaker, so Batman reaches for the man, pulling him out of his chair, but all he shakes is a stuffed mannequin as he demands to know where Nets is. The countdown reaches 10, and in the offices of MI6, the Hood continues to work on a computer. He suddenly turns, shocked to find someone standing there with a gun. Gunshots echoing throughout the building. Batman's mind continues to warp when suddenly he is back in Crime Alley. He looks up, seeing a tower before him as he throws aside the doll of Daedalus. And inside the round room, Dick Grayson, Red Robin, and Robin continue to fight against the Spiral agents. Robin, highball! Batman shouts with Robin springing over Grayson's shoulders, kicking the last Spiral agent down. Now can we find my father? Damian questions. Red Robin pulls off one of the agent's masks, shocked to see the man who acts as Night Runner in France. Batman nods as he pulls the mask of another, recognizing the face of the Dark Ranger from Australia. All the agents are actually members of Batman Incorporated. The SOS must have brought them all here, which means that there could be more Batman Incorporated agents here as well, Red Robin says. And Tim continues to look around the room, finally figuring out what the different colored doors are, and realizing that they are merely a distraction. The whole place is one huge mechanism. Rotating drums, identical rooms, the labyrinth of Dr. Daedalus. He can't be far then! Someone has to take charge here, Robin says as he reaches out for another door. Back in the chamber, Batman looks around in shock as the room is suddenly old and falling apart, with Daedalus continuing to monologue over the speaker as Batman crosses the room. Inside the villain's chair, he finds nothing but the rotting bones of the villain, and he growls at the skeleton as the speaker continues. Even now, you are defeated. There is no Otto Nets. Nets is gone, and I am the plan that he left behind. Recordings cannot be bargained with. Nets cannot be reasoned with. Batman senses movement behind him, and he turns just in time for El Guacho to punch him in the jaw, and he falls to the ground. On the platform above, Daedalus steps out. You see, Batman, there has always been at least one double agent. Agent 33 of Spiral. Next hobbles down on his cane, promising to reward El Guacho for his betrayal, and he holds up a detonator, pressing a button. The tanker ship explodes, quickly beginning to sink into the ocean. Over the Batcoms, Oracle begins to reach out to any Batman agents that can hear her. Can anyone hear me? We've lost all contact with Batman and the others when they boarded the Leviathan. She reaches out to the Outsiders who have boarded the Leviathan orbital base. Meanwhile, inside of the base, the team has been moving quickly, taking down the few guards that they find. And then they get over the comms telling Oracle that the base has been abandoned and that they are stripping it down. They find the command center, quickly melting through the doors, and inside, looking through the viewport, at Earth is a man in a skeleton costume. He turns with a flourish, laughing at the heroes. Ha 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 ha! Welcome to the Dead Heroes Club! Suddenly, the station detonates over the planet, with Oracle connecting to Internet 3.0, taking charge of the robots and sending the tanker ship that Batman and the others were last on. We'll rendezvous with El Guacho on board, she tells everyone over the comms. On the tanker, Daedalus laughs. No, this isn't happening, Batman. It happened last time, Batman. Can you hear me? He asks as the Dark Knight crawls across the floor. Batman looks up at the timer and the world map that is displayed on the screen over Daedalus's throne. Oracle can't seem to center of Spiral, he gasps. Nets pulls out the topper of his cane, revealing a sharp knife, and he looks over at El Guacho, who now holds a vial of poison. While he is weak, you may administer the poison to Batman, for we are sinking now. He smiles as El Guacho opens up the vial. She told me that he liked puzzles, so I created a puzzle that even he couldn't solve, he says with a smile. And El Guacho crosses the room, holding Batman's head as he drops the liquid into the Dark Knight's mouth. It's over, Batman. let it happen," he whispers, and El Guacho suddenly stands, explaining to Daedalus that the man is wrong about him. "I gave Batman the antidote to the gas. The tango of death is over." El Guacho shouts as he turns and lunges at Nets, but the man laughs, moving faster than an old man should, stabbing El Guacho in the throat with his knife. "That is where you're wrong. Every 5 minutes an agent dies." He calls out. Using the end of the cane, he crosses the room and begins to shock Batman, who is still too weak to stand. Daedalus continues to shock him, explaining that Batman can't stop all the meta bombs that he has placed throughout the world. "Go on! I want to see you try! All you have to do is reach the failsafe before I kill your heart with 500,000 volts!" He sneers as Batman continues to struggle forward. On the floor, El Guacho braces himself as he pulls the dagger out of his throat, spraying blood all around him. Daedalus turns smiling as he tells El Guacho that he doesn't have the strength left to throw the knife, and the man's eyes roll to the back of his head as the knife falls from his grasp before he can throw it. Nets turns back to Batman, who is continuing to reach out for the failsafe button on the bombs that Nets has placed around the world, when suddenly the knife flies across the room, stabbing the villain in the head. Batman gasps as he hits the button deactivating the bombs. And then he turns, seeing Robin standing over El Guacho's body. "Father, I'm sorry. He was going to kill you," Robin whispers, and Batman nods. "It isn't over," he whispers, and outside the Robats grab the sinking tanker and pull it to shore. Inside, the Bat family made their way through the derelict corridors, and Batman explains to the others that Nets was a misdirection to distract them on the eve of the war. They stop at another door with a spiral eye and web on it. Red Robin explains that Batwing's last message told them that it wasn't Jezebel Jet behind Leviathan. "The demon's head. It can't be her," Batman whispers as he slams open the door, and inside they find the head of Jezebel Jet sitting on the counter. Under a glass dome, a red phone sits next to her, and it begins to ring. Batman picks it up, pausing for a moment. "Before this starts, we need to talk. Don't do this. Talk to me." "Well, so this is what it takes to get your attention, Batman," the voice says to him. She explains that it is too late, that a $500 million bounty has been placed on Damian Wayne's head. "We're at war now, as I've promised," she explains. And in her base of operations, the head of Leviathan removes her mask, sitting in her throne as she explains that she has assassins everywhere. "Now I must destroy you completely," the voice calls out. And in the room, Damian looks shocked as he hears the voice of his mother. "Your move, beloved," Talia says, as she sits at her throne. And there you guys have it, another issue of Batman Incorporated. Now make sure to check back every Sunday, as we don't expect any more interruptions in this plot line. Some will be short episodes, some will be a little bit longer episodes. We're trying to give you the continual story of the Batman Incorporated storyline that crossed over all the way back at New 52. For those of you guys who don't know, this storyline started back in like 2009-ish, I think, or 2010. So Grant Morrison's storyline is one of my all-time favorite Batman storylines, and I hope you're enjoying it as well. Don't forget, if you want to have a vote on the videos that come to this channel, go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you can find a vote to allow you to decide what's coming to the channel. You guys have already voted on Batman Inc., you've voted on Vision, you have voted on Winter Soldier, you have voted on Dead Man Logan, we've got Suicide Squad Bad Blood coming out, and you're currently voting on the Loki story we're going to be doing. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. I'll see you next time right here.